Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hey, this is Darren Williams with 12 More Keys. Got another episode of Chop Talk. And Chop Talk is where we just sit down with musicians and producers and singers, and we just discuss their musical abilities and their journeys on how they got there and where they're going. So today, I got a special guest that's with us today, Demetrius Nabors, also known as Crayon, right? That's it, right? What's going on, brother?
Man, what is going on with you, sir? Thank you for
Man.
having me, man.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for joining today. I've got to ask you this. I think I already know, but the crayon? Where did it come? Where did the nickname come from?
That is the question everyone asks. So, my good friend, it was a toss up. I always tell the story. It was a toss up between my man Larry Whitfield, gospel
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
artist Larry Whitfield, Thomas Whitfield brother, and our boy Howard Webb, who's a
Okay.
great psalmist, composer. They had this argument like, I called him Crayon first, and I called him. I'm like, the winner goes to Howard Webb. He
Oh,
used to
okay.
come over my house years ago when we were working on some music. And so
Hmm.
while I'm putting arrangements together or rewriting, he said, man, it's so much color in your arrangements, your playing, your
Yes.
compositions. He said, man, I'm going to start calling you Crayon.
Yeah.
And it just immediately took
Yeah.
effect. I was like, man, that's sweet. It's nice when
Yeah.
somebody come
Yeah.
up with your nickname and you
Right.
don't.
Oh, for
Uh,
sure. For sure.
Y yeah, and so, man, I liked it so much, I got it tattooed on me,
Oh,
and
okay.
we're going by crayon since, so and I
Yeah.
use most of the time is, for my producer name.
Oh,
So,
okay.
on
Okay.
stage, I leave it at Demetrius Nabors, but I start incorporating crayon because a lot of people call me Crayon, like, some people didn't even know me as Demetrius Nabors
Oh,
or
okay.
at all. They was like, "Wait a minute, what's his name? I just know him as Crayon." So
Right.
now, that's why you see Demetrius hyphen Crayon Neighbors, so people know.
Oh, okay. Cool, cool, cool.
That's where
Yeah,
it came from.
yeah. I assumed that it was that because when I hear you play, I was like, yeah, he has a lot of color going on for sure. So for sure.
It's nothing
All
like
right.
the colors, man. It's just, I didn't try to do it. It's just, how musicians are.
Yeah,
We just
yeah,
have our style,
yeah.
whatever that is. I don't even know what mine is, but it is what it
Hey,
is.
brother, you got it. You got it.
Oh man. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
it's always a pleasure, man, to be able to talk to musicians
it. Mhm.
that are really humble about the gift that God has given them because it's so many. Well, I think most of the guys that I know now probably are just some really humble, really good musicians,
Yeah.
and sometimes they don't even like you talking to them. Oh, like, no, I'm good. Don't give me the shine. But hey, you got to give honor where honor is due. You know what I'm saying? And then
Man, listen, I appreciate it. And
yeah,
again, like you said, a lot of colleagues that we know,
yeah,
um, they are amazing, and
yeah,
I'm glad that a lot of them are humble.
yep,
I've heard horror stories, and maybe
yeah,
it could be some horror stories about me. And
uh,
but I'm like, you have to get to know me because I'm not like that. I try to help everybody,
yeah,
but yet the way I grew up, and
uh,
I'm sure you understand, the
mhm,
way I grew up was that I had to work hard to get
yeah,
where I am, and I'm
yeah,
still working hard, but
yeah,
I didn't have it easy. People,
mm,
people would not show me, they wouldn't show me how to play such and such or whatever
yeah,
song.
yeah,
They, it was tough love, man.
yeah,
Rewind that tape,
yep,
listen back, keep
exactly,
rewinding, listen back. And when they,
right,
when our older musicians saw that you were, you had it coming or you got it together, they'd be like, okay, you just maybe missing this.
hmm,
So, and then another thing is, think about it. It's no reason for us to really have a so-called big head or
yeah,
be arrogant about it because, first of all, at any time, God can take it away.
oh, absolutely,
Number two, there's someone always practicing. So while we're interviewing right now, someone in the world right now is practicing.
for sure,
While we're asleep,
right,
is someone always coming for you or always working on their gifts. So
right,
it's no reason to be that way.
right.
And how about this, Darren? The gigs only last for 60 minutes, 90 minutes.
Right, right.
What are we here
Exactly.
again for? You coming right back home.
Right.
That's one thing I love about family. Family,
Yep.
they don't care. When you walk through the door, they don't care about your status. They don't care about who
Exactly.
you are outside this door. Sir, you forgot to take out the garbage. You got to wash your clothes. You got to
Right.
clean up. I don't care if you can play a million miles an hour. You need
Right.
to do these chores
Right.
or whatever.
Reality steps right back in.
Right back in, right back in. So, I
For
mean, just
sure.
stay humble and just thank God for the opportunity that, you we do have. And
Right.
that's what I, try to display all the time.
That's
So,
what's up.
yeah.
So I got to ask that magic question, man.
Go, go
How
ahead.
did you even start playing? I'm like, where did it come from? Any inspirations or where did you learn how to play?
So the inspiration to learn how to play piano because I played a few musical instruments during, elementary, like we all do, just something to
Hmm.
do, middle school. So I actually started playing violin, clarinet.
Oh wow. Oh, okay.
Yeah, clarinet. In middle school, I played trumpet,
Mm.
trumpet, clarinet, drums, and I played baritone because I was in
Oh,
the marching band.
oh,
So that's
okay.
when I played all these instruments. But I still didn't realize it was like in me. I was just trying to do something,
Oh, okay.
and I didn't learn piano until my freshman year in high school when I was at Cass Tech.
Wow. Oh, okay. My
Yep.
wife went to
I
Cass
went to
Tech,
Ca- I
so
went I went to Cass Tech for 2 years.
oh,
I
okay.
left there because I was trying to play basketball. I should have just stayed my butt there. So that's when I learned how to play piano, and
Oh,
and
okay.
that was inspired by he's God rest his soul, my late uncle Larry Nix.
Yeah, I know Larry. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's your
Yeah,
uncle, really?
he's my uncle-in-law. So he inspired me. He was the one that really inspired me to play
Oh,
because I would
okay.
hear him on organ, man, and he
Oh,
was
yeah.
killing
Yeah,
it.
he was a monster for sure.
Man, he was a monster. And here's the thing, he knew he was a monster. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't he
um,
move to the ATL at some point?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And did
Yeah.
a lot of productions for Chris Brown,
Yeah.
you know, uh, Joe, quite a few
Hmm.
R&B, a
Yeah.
lot of that. But he inspired me, man. So
Okay.
that made me want to play piano and play organ. And once I learned that, I left all the other instruments alone.
Oh, okay.
But I can tell that by me learning those instruments, it taught me how to breathe because you're playing a horn, you're playing a wind instrument.
Hmm.
So it taught me how to breathe and phrase. And so I think
Mm.
a lot of that, is it comes through on my piano that
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just
Yep.
not necessarily call it running all over the place, but
Right.
I have, it's lyricism going on and I have space in my playing when it
Hmm.
comes to improvisation. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny that you say that because it reminds me of I had Dana on here before as well, and we had this conversation, and he was just saying how music is a conversation anyway. Well, it's supposed to be a conversation. It's
Right.
like, especially I admire the jazz, and that was one of the reasons I wanted to definitely talk to you because I know in jazz you hear that expression a lot. You hear the conversation more so you
Absolutely.
do as far instead of gospel. Gospel seems like not all the time. Some of
Right.
it is more organized, but then some of these jokers, they just be off the chain. They just be all over the place,
Yeah.
so, but what I do love about that is that it is about a conversation. It's about, we're not over talking each other, and that to me is how music is supposed to be played, in
Mhm.
my opinion, you know. So when
Well,
uh,
I mean, think about it. What's the number one thing we supposed to do in music? What's number one?
uh
When you put on music, what's the first thing you're doing?
what do you listen in? What? I don't know. Yeah.
That's it. That's it. And in order for you to have a conversation, you have to listen. So it's the
Uh-huh.
same thing when we're playing an instrument. We need to listen to everyone that's involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the main thing when it comes to jazz improvisation, listening and then reacting and having a conversation with the different instrumentalists.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's funny. I heard there's a guy I can't think of his name now, but I saw him on YouTube, and he's a really good musician, does a lot of production,
Mhm.
and in his own, he's done a CD before. He did a CD, gospel CD with some hymns and stuff,
Okay.
but he backed up somebody. He was playing for them, and he stayed right in the pocket for that singer. And you could tell everybody was like wanting him to do more, but he just stayed right there with the singer because it's like I'm not trying to impress y'all. I'm trying to, just stay in my lane or whatever. And I
Yeah.
thought that that was so great of him just to be able to do that instead of just going over and getting the light or the shine when he not supposed to. So
Exactly.
yeah,
He played his role.
yeah,
When we're with a singer or with an instrumentalist, whoever the lead is or who
mm,
has the melody, we supposed to be accompanying them. So that
right,
means you stay out the way and you're supporting that individual, that
uh-huh,
lead, and
yeah,
push them, make sure they sound amazing and help
mm-hmm,
them as much as you're able until it's your time to shine.
right,
And
exactly,
so, I mean, I get it all the time where
yeah,
I know a lot of people want, they expect me to do some crazy stuff or,
mm-hmm,
even at church,
mm-hmm,
but man, I am supporting the moment. I'm
yeah,
supporting the artist, the
yeah,
lead instrument, and making sure
right,
we are cohesive
right,
and we're getting the message across. And a lot
right.
of musicians, they just don't think like that. It's all about, ooh, let's put this substitution in there or let me overplay this person. No,
Right,
no, no, no.
right,
It's
right.
teamwork. It is
Right.
teamwork.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that that is so just I know especially when you at home,
Mhm.
like I know for me, like when I'm practicing at home, then I let it fly in. I'll play all kind of stuff. But it's like I'm at rehearsal or something like that. I may mess around a little bit,
Yeah.
but when I'm in, like you said, in that moment,
Mhm.
then I'm just gonna stay right where I need to be. I
That's
may add a little color here and there, but I'm
right.
gonna stay where I need to be. And I think that is really important, man, for sure.
And even with that, I agree with you at the same time, to add,
Mhm.
as musicians, when we're practicing at home, we all let it fly because, we want that's we're
Right,
practicing, man.
right.
Then you also, in your practice, you should have a time where you're very you're just in the pocket and
Hmm.
working on feel, not
Oh, okay.
necessarily the crazy stuff, but just staying there, playing a
Okay.
song and just that foundation and making that foundation feel good where you don't move anywhere. So when you get out here, it's easy to,
Yeah.
just settle back. They're like, man, why you not doing nothing? But then when it's time, like, oh, bam, got you.
Right,
When
right,
it's
right.
time. But practice that discipline at home when you're
Okay.
practicing. And I do it.
Oh,
And a great way to do it, just a tip,
okay.
like I meditate, and I'm sure a
Okay.
lot of other musicians do. But in my
Hmm.
meditation, think about when we're meditating,
Hmm.
if you do that, you're not going crazy.
Hmm.
You're just in
Hmm.
that vibe, just
Yeah.
trying to, meditate within. And so it doesn't take all that. So I treat it the same way
Right.
when I'm out here or just when I'm practicing, just to fall into that moment at any given moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Sorry, man. I feel like I'm talking too much. I'm
Oh
sorry.
no, no, no. That's what we're here for. We want to we want to hear you.
Chop it up, man. Chop it up. Chop it up.
For
Yes, sir.
sure. Hey, so let me ask you this. So any like artists like that you've met or played for? Because man, I happened to look at your catalog and I didn't realize that you had that many songs or CDs out. I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay, you've been out for a minute. But anybody that you work with, or I should say that you met that said, like, wow, I can't believe I just met that person.
As far so, I know my website, and I say this because I've played for so many artists, and I've been
Uh-huh.
blessed. I mean, a lot of artists, and
Uh-huh.
it doesn't. My website doesn't represent that. When I talk about who I played for, I just have a few names.
Yeah.
But back then, I just didn't write down everything.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
keeping up with that resume, and
Uh-huh.
but a couple of artists I met that I was like, yes. I mean, it's a lot of them, but
Mm-hmm.
ones that stand out, George Duke. I met George
Oh,
Duke.
Yeah.
I met George Duke while we was in Africa with Kim. I was
Oh,
on tour.
okay.
I was on, doing some dates with Kim. Um, who else? Met my man Chick Corea.
Oh, yeah.
And
Okay.
when I said, I was blessed to meet them, I had a conversation with them. So
Oh,
this is just
wow.
not like
Oh, okay.
meeting, like, oh, see you
Right,
later.
right, right, right.
So I was blessed. I had, so George Duke, Chick Corea. I also met Gonzalo Rubacaba.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yep,
Oh,
I even had a master class, a solo master class with Gonzalo Rubacaba.
wow.
So humble. If you're not really up on him, he is, man. Listen, all I'm
Hmm.
gonna tell you is just look up his name.
Yeah. Oh,
Look
I
him.
heard of him. I've heard of him. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I have those three. Lee Ritenour.
Oh, okay.
Who else? A bunch of them.
Yeah.
So who else? Those stand out.
Okay.
Those stand out. James Lloyd,
Oh,
uh,
yeah. From Pieces of a Dream. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
he's up
yeah.
there, Jeff Lober.
Oh, yeah. That was my guy. Yeah.
Um, I, I mean, a ton.
Yeah.
It's so many more, but those
Yeah.
stand out if you knows they are pianists.
Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that I really miss nowadays
Hmm.
is because the only time I get to hear these guys now, unless I go, to my playlist or something,
Yeah.
or unless they come to concert, you don't get to hear them like on the radio unless you got Sirius satellite or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
So I miss that the old days of JZZ and some of those stations where you get to used to hear what Spiral Gyra and the Yellow Jackets and all these foreplay, all these names of these groups, Chick Corea and Jeff Lorber and all them. And so it's just like, wow, you miss that element of the jazz scene. And you still hear it because I like it, so I'll search for it.
Right.
But
Right.
it's not just like on the mainstream like it is like
Hmm.
all the R&B stuff now.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Definitely.
I think that element is definitely missing.
It is missing. But when I think about it, I definitely miss that element. But I think it's so much with technology being as advanced as it is, it has created more opportunities for you to either chat with these individuals or
Yeah. Yeah.
go to a master class where it's either virtual or physical, in
Hmm.
person. So I think we have a lot more opportunities because again, I was able to meet Gonzalo Rubacaba and have a one-on-one master class via Zoom like this.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
he was on piano playing, and I was, and we were talking just like this,
Oh,
and
wow.
just to hear his insight, and his advice and things like that, it was amazing. So I do miss that, that the way of doing things the way we used to do
Mm,
things, but
mm,
we have more opportunities now.
for
So,
sure. Speaking on that, the master class and just how, the different phrasings and stuff. You did a song.
uh-oh.
You did a song. I think it was off your Evolve CD. It
Oh,
was
evolution.
Evolution. I'm sorry, Evolution CD. It was Giant Steps. Now I'm a big fan of that song. That is
Coltrane.
Coltrane, John Coltrane, and not everybody understands or hears that, and it's like, okay, all these different 2-5-1 phrases going on, and it's just like when the way that you phrased it and the way that you played it, it was like, this is so unique and this is so different. But it was like, I'm like, okay, I was just like, I'm laying before the altar on this one. Like, I got to ask you, what kind of inspiration, what was you dealing with, bro? I was
Oh
like,
my God,
what?
he said, what was you dealing with? Man, that is so funny. I honestly I don't know. So how that came about was that I was attending U of M at the time and
Okay.
studying with Jerry Allen, pianist Jerry Allen, the late great Jerry Allen, amazing pianist.
Okay.
She's amazing.
Oh,
So her the students, all of us that studied with her,
hmm.
uh, her piano, class. she challenged all the pianists. So I think it was like 12 of us. So
Okay.
she always gave us an assignment every semester. So this one particular semester, she was like, I want y'all to take giant steps and do an arrangement.
Mm. Mm.
And all of us was like, you kidding? Like giant steps is already complicated
Yeah.
by itself, especially when you're trying to play at that tempo.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So then you want us to do an arrangement of it? So everyone did an arrangement, and those are my boys. Everybody's arrangement was killing. I mean,
Wow.
everybody, because it
Oh,
was just
okay.
different. Different pianists,
Oh, okay.
different style. Just creatively. And so for some reason, man, again, as if giant steps is not already hard.
Right.
I want to do rhythm. I want to do metric modulations. Going back and forth with the rhythm, then turn around and create additional harmonic
Yeah.
structures.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know what inspired. I've always been into fusion
Oh,
because when
okay.
I started playing piano, I was into Chick Corea and electric band. So that was my
Okay.
main influence.
Yeah.
So, learning all that crazy stuff, man, it was
Wow.
just embedded in me. And so
Yeah.
when it came to that arrangement, you know, that's all I could tell you really. I
Okay.
don't know why I come up with some of the things I do. I just hear it and I
Okay.
try to put it down and execute it. And it is a monster to solo over. Is
Yeah. Yeah.
as you heard, it's
Yeah. Yeah.
it's no
But you did
joke.
a great job. You did a great job.
Listen, I tried, but that Deshaun Jones, that's on sax.
Oh,
That's
okay.
on sax.
Oh,
Deshaun
really?
Jones.
Oh, okay. I don't know who that is, but yeah,
Oh
he's killing.
man, he's from here.
Oh, is it?
Deshaun
Oh, okay.
Jones. Yeah, we used to call him like Coltrane Jr.
Oh, really? Wow. Oh, okay.
He's a genius, man. No perfect pitch, and when
Wow.
I say he ripped through I mean, you could hear it
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
sax. I was like, let me go first. Yeah, let me go first because I called the right guy. I already knew what was about to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let me go first, get my little, 2 cents out the way, and there you go. You can have it.
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was when I heard that, I was like, wow, that's I mean, all of it, the other CDs as well.
yes, sir.
I see that you got a chance to work with Doobie Powell. Y'all did a rearrangement of one of Stevie Wonder's joints,
Yeah, overjoyed.
Joy. Yeah.
Yeah,
How was it?
that was amazing, man. Again, so it goes back to my point of social media has created more
Yeah.
opportunities to just connect with individuals.
Uh-huh.
So initially, I wanted to when I did overjoyed, I was like, okay, I mean, adding some different harmonics structures, to the song. I was like, who can weave in and out singing
Uh-huh.
through the chorus? And I was like, two people come to mind.
Okay.
Two people right off: Jay Moss
Oh yeah, yeah.
and Doobie.
Mm-hmm.
So initially, I tried to get in touch with Jay Moss because Jay and I, we worked together on, on some church ventures or whatever,
Okay.
and we could not link for whatever reason. I don't know why. I think maybe it was meant to be like it was. I would
Yeah.
have loved to have Jay on it, but
Mm-hmm.
our schedules didn't work out. So I was like, I've always wanted to work with Doobie. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, Doobie plays piano and all
Right,
that
yeah.
cool stuff, but the arrangement was already done.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and I was like, let me just reach out to him. So via Messenger, just
Yeah.
like us, Facebook,
Uh-huh.
I reached out to Doobie. Doobie, I've always been a fan. Would love to work with you. I have this arrangement of Overjoyed. Would
Uh-huh.
love for you to sing on it. How much you charge, and
Uh-huh.
all. So I sent him that link. He responded back, and I think from how he's responded, I think he already knew about me.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
heard some of my music, and then I sent him the arrangement and let him hear it because everyone is not going to agree to do a Stevie song,
Right.
especially if you arranged it to. So
Exactly.
you
Exactly,
need
for
to
sure.
hear it, and
Right.
Doobie being who he is, man. So I sent it to him. He loved it, and then from that point, it happened.
That's what's up. That's
Yeah,
what's
man.
up, bro.
Yep.
Yeah. That's exciting stuff, man.
Yeah,
Exciting
man.
stuff. Well, what's going on with you now? I mean, like like I said, you have about what? How many CDs is it now? About six, seven, something like that?
I think I'm at 5. I think I
Five?
have four jazz CDs and one holiday.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so A Journey Within Part 1, Part 2, Evolution, Perseverance, and then the Holiday album.
Okay.
Yep. So
Cool.
right now, I'm working on some new music. I'm working on a new single.
Okay.
Um, last year I released "Bounce to This." That did great.
Right. Uh-huh.
So I'm working on a new single, and then I'll release another EP, probably around the summer or the fall.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, so that's coming. So the new single should drop April, like the second week in April.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Cool. Cool. Looking
radio,
forward to that too
radio.
then.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
I'm always grazing through social media, so I see you got an event that's coming up. What's going on with this?
Yeah, so May 4th, I'm doing a concert from Entertainment. They are the sponsors, or the promoter. So
Okay.
that's gonna be at, if I'm saying it right, I
Mm-hmm.
think it's La Pete. Am I saying it right? La Pete, something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's in Dearborn, so they have a
Okay.
banquet center. So it's a restaurant, but they have a banquet center in the back, and they've
Okay.
they've have jazz concerts there before. So
Okay.
that's going to be May 4th with my band, with special guest Isis DeMille.
Okay. Okay.
My regular band is always Robert Skinner on bass,
Oh
Nate
yeah,
Wynn on
right.
drums, Gary Johnson on guitar, Jeff Ponders on sax.
Yeah, no, Jeff.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, Isis DeMille. So
Okay.
it's going to be an amazing show. So
Okay. I'm
you're,
looking
you're a big
forward to
fan.
it, brother. I got to definitely stop through that for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Funny
Uh, be-
story about Gary Johnson
oh,
is
come on with it. Come on with it with GJ. Come on, man.
so I've been knowing them for quite a while. Their dad and um I get wow am I getting names. Um he gonna get me. Uh the drummer.
Oh, Marquise.
Marquise. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Marquise, please charge it to my head, not my heart. But I remember Marquise was playing. I think he was young, so he might have been 12, and he was hitting then.
Okay.
And Gary didn't play anything, and neither did Eric. Eric didn't play anything, so neither one of them they were really playing. And the next time I saw Eric was kind of playing, but Gary wasn't really playing anything. So next time I saw them, I think that was the group Hot Sauce they were in.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, have you heard Gary? Gary is killing. I'm like, Gary who? He's like our brother. I'm like, Gary plays? I was like, I didn't even know he played. And when I heard him, I was like, dude, when did you start playing? I'm like, this guy is amazing now. I'm like, wow.
Oh
So that's
yeah.
just it's funny every time I hear him or see him now. It's like I remember he wasn't even playing anything. Now
Yeah,
he's
and I
one of the
think
hottest guitar players around.
right, and I think if I'm correct, I think Gary started on bass
Oh, did he really?
before he switched over to guitar.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Oh
Shoot.
yeah. Yeah, because we had our bass player come make it to a gig I was on with another artist, and
Hmm.
Gary was like, "Yeah, I'll play bass." I was like, "Yep." He played bass for the gig.
Well, that's what's up.
Listen, multi-talented, man. I am not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
So
It just amazes me when especially I see these young people that are like 8 and 9 and 10 years old just smoking. And it's just
smoking.
like what did y'all do? What did your parents do?
They didn't
Like,
they didn't go outside. They didn't go
right.
outside.
Exactly.
They don't have that.
Right.
They did not
Right.
go outside because
Like you gonna stay here all day, school and piano. That's it. You ain't doing nothing else.
they did not go outside. Like I don't know if you've seen the little Caucasian boy. He like 7 years old. He did he's 7,
mhm.
probably going on 8, and he did a full production of
Oh
what's song?
yeah.
Oh, You Lied to
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
Oh, he sung, engineered, played bass, played keys.
Yeah.
I said, "You 7? What are we doing here?
Right.
What are we doing here, brother?"
Right.
Man, listen,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to keep my chops up on this dang old keyboard,
Right.
making me feel bad, like I'm slacking. I don't know.
Right. I know
So,
that's right.
yeah,
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 it's amazing. I'm like, I don't know what they putting in the food or whatever, the water or something.
pretty much, pretty much. So yeah.
Hey, look, man, I'm not gonna hold you too long, man. I just got a few more questions, man.
Oh
First of
man,
all,
go ahead. I'm enjoying. I'm all
oh,
right.
okay, okay, cool. So, hey, listen, so what do you think? Let me ask you this first. How do you think like gospel music and jazz music are related? I mean, do you think there's more of an influence in the gospel field with the jazz, or do you think it's more influence from the gospel to the jazz, or vice versa? I'm like,
Well, from the history, when you look up jazz and you look
mm-hmm,
up gospel, they coexist. That's why they mirror each other so much.
mm-hmm.
Because when you do the history, from what I can remember, it started with the ring shout from slavery.
Oh, okay.
Because
Okay.
they,
Yep.
black African Americans, we couldn't communicate.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way you communicate is, during your break, they came, got with each other and got into that circle, and that would be their way of communicating with the ring
Mm-hmm.
shout. And
Mm-hmm.
so it came from a blues, and that was gospel. So that's why it's so closely intertwined.
Yeah.
So I just think it influences each other. The
Mm-hmm.
difference is, now here's the difference. Like, the chords are the same.
Mm-hmm.
Chords are basically the same.
Mm-hmm.
Um, except for you don't go so abstract
Okay.
with in gospel,
Yeah. Yeah.
unless you're like James Hall,
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
where we're just pushing that edge, but
Yeah.
the improvisation is different for both.
Right. Okay.
That's different when it
Mhm.
comes to gospel and jazz.
Oh,
The
okay.
language, that is definitely different. But as far as the foundation, the structure of the chords and all that harmonically, it coexists. But the
Okay.
language is definitely different. So I hate to say this, but it is what it is. I can tell a gospel musician trying to
Mhm.
improv versus a jazz musician
Yeah.
improv. The language is different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure that's I can hear it too. I can hear when somebody who plays predominantly gospel as a
Hmm.
person who plays predominantly jazz. I can hear every now and then I can hear it. It's not too many people, and I'm not saying this because you on here,
Right.
but you are one of the few that I've heard that can go either way and nobody can tell.
Yeah. I
It's like
I
you could say, okay, I don't know if he's predominantly a jazz player or a gospel player. I don't remember, I don't know if you remember, but we did a Christmas concert. Oh man, it was probably before the pandemic.
okay.
And you came in, I think you were playing with Michael Mendengar for this concert. I don't even know if you remember it. It was a
Oh,
while back.
yeah.
So
That probably was the last concert I did. Was it on the east side?
it was on the east side. It was on the east side.
Um, I think over there off Maross or something
Yep.
like that, in
Yep.
that area. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And but you came in, I think you were either warming up or something, and you got on the keys. I was like, I just turned around, I'm like, who is that? Like, just smoking. I was like, who is that? And I was like, oh, I said, there he is. That's Demetrius. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, thanks. Thanks for taking me down memory lane. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For
But
sure.
yeah, I could tell, and there's nothing wrong with it. You could
Oh,
just
no,
tell,
no, right.
you could just tell, the languages, and
Mm-hmm.
you could tell when a person is playing a bunch of licks versus, they have language where they have a conversation. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
could take three notes and make a conversation, or just make one note, just the way you play it or the way
Right.
you phrase it,
Right.
versus doing a lick where it's just all lick based,
Right.
instead of just taking a couple of notes, bit
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's language.
Right. Right.
It's not licks. I'm having a conversation right there.
Right.
So
It
yeah.
it's funny too. Just made me think about how back in the day, like if I showed you, well, somebody was like, "Well, I'm not showing this person all my chords and stuff." Like a chord is a chord. I'm like, we don't own chords. Like a chord is a chord. I'm like you just said, everybody's gonna phrase it different. I may play it a different inversion or whatever, or may add some harmonics on top of it and play with my whatever. We all it's still the same chord. It's just we all phrase it differently. So Me
Right.
showing somebody a seventh or a ninth or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's like because we're gonna play it differently.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. It's
yeah,
again, everyone is unique. So I could
yeah,
show you a chord no matter how I, voice it, you
hmm,
may do something different after I show you the initial voicing.
yep, yep,
So
yep,
why try to keep keep it to yourself or worry about somebody gonna steal your chords, man? You didn't
right,
patent this chord.
exactly,
A D minor nine is a D minor nine. It's just how you voice it. And even if you voice it like me, you're still not me and I'm not you.
right,
We're gonna make it unique. And that's what makes, music amazing because everyone is creative in their own right.
yep. That is so so true.
Oh yeah. So yeah, keep it going, D. Just keep it going.
Say you enjoying this too. I'm in too.
Listen. Now my turn. What made you start playing? Now I'm interviewing you. So
Oh man, okay. Do you really? Okay. Um, well, I grew up in church, obviously. And I started off on the drums as well. I started playing drums, start playing congos actually. Um, Messing around with those a little bit. Then I started playing drums, just enough to keep a beat. Back then, when we were in church, like you had five guys sitting waiting to get on the drums. So,
absolutely.
it's just like, okay, I want to get, it's my turn. So everybody wanted to get a turn. So we were in line.
Oh yeah.
Nobody wanted to get off. Like, let me just play this song. And then there was a slow song. Here you go.
Right.
You know?
Oh yeah.
So, but my god brother and he started taking lessons from Willie Davis. You know who Willie Davis, Dana's
Heard of
Davis.
Willie Gray.
Yep,
Willie
yep.
Gray.
He started taking lessons from him, and I end up going to him as well. And that's how I kind of started. I've been listening to music since I was really young. My uncle had a band, and they used to go practice, and I would always come and I would be by the door, and I was really young, be like, okay, like I'm listening. I would be buying Earth, Wind, and Fire records when I was 8 years old, like listening in the Gap Band. I'm just listening to all that stuff. It was like I just love to hear it. So it was like easy for me to just gravitate to that. And like you, I think I was listening to Jeff Lorber, Chick Corea, George Duke stuff, people like that coming up. Um, I guess I didn't have that discipline that you did, but but still, it was I enjoyed that type of fusion, jazz and fusion. So that cultivated my sound a little bit as well. Then listening to Thomas Whitfield, obviously, Rudolph Stansfield, people like that, that have, um, developed my hearing and stuff like that. And,
Yeah.
just all over, man. So, and now I just go on YouTube and listen, be like, "Ooh, this guy is cold." Be like, let me. So now
Yeah,
I'm over
man.
here doing that. So,
Yeah.
but so that's how I started. Been doing that for a long time. For a long time.
I, listen, I understand.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's great. That's great to hear. I
yeah.
remember again when I started playing, listening to Chick Corea, and also Thomas Whitfield was a huge influence from a gospel perspective,
Uh-huh.
uh, along with James Brown because
Oh, really?
James
Oh, okay.
Brown was like another Tommy, and Uncle Rudy,
Oh,
Rudolph
yeah,
Stanfield.
yeah.
But it was Thomas Whitfield. I just remember when I was going to Cass Tech,
Uh-huh.
uh, just staying up at night, just kept rewinding tapes, just kept
Mm.
rewinding, trying to get the chord, trying to come as close as I can to his
Yeah.
voicings, man.
Uh-huh.
And I remember that just wearing the tape out, just wearing it out. So yeah,
Yep. Grinding. Yep. I remember those days.
grinding, man, grinding. Yes,
Like now they
absolutely.
got things you could slow it down. You could,
Man,
you know.
listen. That's a whole nother conversation. We didn't we
Right.
didn't we didn't have that.
Right. Right.
We did not have that. You learned
Right.
in real time. I'm
Yep.
not mad at it. I
Right.
just feel like, man, we worked so hard back
Right.
then.
Like, man, if
Everybody
I
worked.
had that back then.
Man, listen, that's why, that's another reason. I mean, kudos to all the kids that are practicing like crazy all the time. but they have so many more resources than
Oh,
we do.
absolutely.
And I'm glad they're taking advantage of it. But
Right.
for us, we appreciate it, but we're like, God, dog, why we couldn't
Right.
have this back
Right.
then?
Right. For sure.
So yeah, I would love it. Just slow it down. Now you see
Right.
0.25, you just slow it down there
Right.
and like you're like, what?
Right.
It still develops your ear because you
Oh
still have
yeah.
to learn it, but you're
Mhm.
slowing it down. So man,
Right.
I don't know, man.
Right. Yeah.
Just thank God for technology and
Oh, for sure. Oh,
yeah.
yeah. I definitely appreciate it for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So
I think
okay,
one of
so
my
mhm.
highlights is I got to see let me see, about 5 years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I got to see Chick Corea and the Electric Band and Bella Fleck and the Flecktones. They did a concert here. And it
Is
was
that
like
in Ann Arbor?
it was in it, and was it in Ann Arbor? I
A
can't remember
Hill,
where.
a Hill Auditorium?
Yes. Yes. And that was the last time there was like the reunion band, and it was like all the original members, and I was like, I was in heaven, dude. It was like, wow. And they
Man,
sound just like the CD. I was like,
absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
mm-hmm,
It's amazing to hear that type of musicianship and at that level in person and
mm-hmm.
watch them do it. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
it's one thing to listen, to a CD or, hearing it, but to see it and you like,
mm-hmm, yeah,
wow. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Hey
man.
man. Hey, well, I got to ask you this.
Go ahead.
Everybody, every guest that I have, what advice can you give us, man, for those who are um trying to become better as a musician or trying to become a musician or record or like what's the best advice that you can give to
Well,
them?
man, that's a lot of questions in one. Let's
What-
becoming a musician, recording. Yeah.
okay, so
All right, let's try one. Which one we got?
okay, so let's just say as a musician,
Mhm.
what is it that what advice would you give to help that musician to improve on his abilities, I should say?
I would say if you're already playing, man, seek out someone that's I hate to say this, that's I'll say more experienced than you, that's
Okay.
doing it, that's very successful. But you can learn from musicians who are not successful. But we're talking about if you're trying to go to the next level,
Mm-hmm.
seek out individuals that are doing it, that are, maybe better than you or
Mm-hmm.
have more success so you can learn from them because we've all went through the fire. We are,
Right.
um, one of the things now I can back up. So one of the things that I think slowed me down as a musician was that when I was coming up playing,
Mm-hmm.
again, like I told you, I was singing on musicians who were better than me.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I was always different in the gospel because I love jazz.
Mm-hmm.
So, my plan has always been, as they would call it, jazzy.
Okay.
I didn't sound like the regular gospel musician. And, a couple of older musicians, they said to me, they tried to discourage me. And I understand why they did it because
Mm-hmm.
they said, don't do jazz because you can't make any money in jazz. But
Mm-hmm.
from that statement, I believe it slowed me down from jazz because I had them in my ear saying, do R&B, do something different so you can
Mm-hmm.
make money.
Mm-hmm.
And it was never about the money. I wasn't even trying to be a professional musician. That was not my
Really?
goal.
Wow. Wow.
This here was not my goal. I always wanted to be a CPA and just play basketball and
Oh,
do that.
okay. Oh, okay.
Doing music was just it was literally a hobby.
Really? Wow.
Just
Wow.
it was
Wow.
just instead of working at McDonald's when I was in high school, I
Mm-hmm.
was playing for church, and I
Right,
didn't
right,
mind it because I'm clean, you
right, right,
dress,
right.
you make back then $150 was a lot back then because
Right,
it was old school. So
right, for sure.
that's all I was trying to do. I was not trying to release albums and be the professional musician, but
Mm-hmm.
I believe that slowed me down because of that advice that I received instead of just doing what I love. And that's what I love about the musicians today, especially the little kids. It's so many kids, like you said, number one, playing multiple instruments, and they're doing jazz
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they love it.
Yeah.
And that's the point.
Right.
That's the point we want to make or want to
Right.
get over. So I would say any musician that wants to get better,
Hmm.
yes, seek the advice from someone that's doing it, but also be careful.
Hmm.
Be careful because it can influence you to go one way or another, or
Yeah.
it can slow your progress if you allow it. But it's challenging because if you look up to these guys
Hmm.
uh, or these the guys or the ladies who are doing it and they tell you something that's contrary to what you feel,
Right.
it can affect you. So just be very careful and discern,
Hmm.
have discernment of when somebody is speaking to you or speaking over your life or speaking over your gift. Just,
Right.
be careful. So I think I said a couple
Oh
in
yeah.
one.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. I think that that is definitely profound, man, because like you could get hooked up with the wrong person, like you said, and before you know it, you out there. Unfortunately, I met a couple dudes that were really gifted,
yeah,
and they knew they were gifted and got with the wrong people and traveled, and before you know it, their life was just, totally messed up. And a couple of my friends, they've gone on,
we've
because
had
they got mixed
we've
up with
had
the
them.
wrong people,
Oh
so
yeah, we've had them.
yeah,
You right about
so
that. You right about that. So man, listen, I know we're getting to the end, but what
uh-huh.
do you have coming up?
Oh man. Man, I'm okay, so man, you putting me on the spot.
Hey man,
I'm
I told you it's a team effort. We have an interview. I'm
yeah.
honored, but also I want to, what's going
Oh,
on because
okay.
I like to
So
support
so
my colleagues as well.
so I tell you what, this is me right here. See, I think so. I'm gonna be open with you and everybody that's watching. Um, I think I really got into, well, been into music for a long time. That's not it. I think I
Okay.
got into doing this podcast thing to make some extra income.
Hmm.
That was kind of like what I was thinking. But the more I started talking to people, it became more interesting to me. It ain't like you kind of said earlier. It wasn't about the money then. I love just having that conversation with other musicians and getting their point of view of, what they think about this or that, and just having that conversation and their journeys and how they started and where they're going. To me, that's exciting, dude. So, and then I get to meet, or just meet different people that I've never met. Some people, and then some people that I do know, I didn't know that's this stuff about them.
Yeah.
So, I think this is just like for me like my woosah or
Yeah.
my moment of yeah, I'm good with this because I could talk
Well,
about music all day anyway. So
yes, sir.
be able to just communicate that with other people that love it too. That's my element right there. So
There
this
you
is
go.
me. This
It
is me.
works. It works, man.
I
It
mean,
works.
like I said, I do a little recording here and there for people, nothing nothing super major or whatever, but I do a little bit here and there. So,
Well, I'm gonna stop you there. Major is relative
oh, okay.
because what's not major to you, the person you helping, they look at as major.
Yeah,
So, you
that's
know,
true.
it might not be, the A list or whatever it is, but I feel like anytime, we get a chance to help someone fulfill their dream or their vision, I think it's a win. It's a
Yeah.
major win all the time, no matter what.
What?
So,
Thank you, brother.
yes, sir.
Thank you for that.
Definitely, definitely.
Hey
Yeah.
man, it has been a pleasure talking to you, dude.
Right.
Hey, where can people reach you? I'm like, where can they reach you? I'm gonna leave a link down below anyway,
Mhm.
for all your information, but just any social media page people can contact you on, anything like that?
Yes. So for social media, I try to keep the names across the board the same. So
Okay.
Demetrius Nabors Music, and that's Nabors. He has my name up here, y'all. So it's right there.
Right.
Nabors. Demetrius Nabors Music across pretty much all social media platform. You can go to my website. I tried to help individuals out. So you can go to www.demetriusneighbors.com
Okay.
or as you can see, Demetrius Crayon Neighbors, which is www.dknmusic. So
Hmm.
D for Demetrius, K for Crayon, N music. So dknmusic.com.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, and if you go there, sign up on my mailing list, and if you email me,
Hmm.
I will respond. That's me responding. It's not it's not a manager or nobody else. That is me. If you email me, I will respond back. If you message me on social media, I will respond back. So
And that is true, people. He will respond.
that's right. Absolutely. Again, I'm
Cool.
just a regular guy, just regular guy who try to work hard at whatever he's doing. That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
brother, I appreciate you, man, once again for just taking out some time, man. Like I know
Yeah.
we tried to do this over the summer, but you were so busy, dude. I was like, I ain't even like we
Ooh.
we we just gonna connect it another time.
Listen, man. I mean, thank you for your perseverance. Yeah, summer is just a
Yeah,
bad time to do anything,
yeah.
to record anything, because shows,
Hmm.
for the past, man, I want to say 10 years, every summer from beginning of June to the to Labor Day.
Okay.
Yeah, Labor Day.
Uh-huh.
I usually have shows every week because I'm playing with a different artist between my shows and their shows
Wow.
every summer. I've been blessed, but
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
busy.
It's a
And
lot of
trying
grind.
to, work a 9 to 5, man,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is
hey.
it's tough.
I get
It's tough.
it.
Yeah.
Making all the money though, bro.
No, we had kids that go to college, so it didn't went to them. So that's why I got to keep working
Right.
hard.
Oh,
So,
for sure, for sure.
but man, thank you again, D. I
Oh,
appreciate
yeah.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
no problem, man. Hey, thanks again, everybody, for joining us today with 12 More Keys, another episode of Chop Talk. Y'all come check us out. Peace.